Democrats were just caught red-handed. Stunning new undercover footage captured in New York this week, showing what the Board of Elections is doing in New York City, what they've been doing, admitting in this footage, and allowing non-citizens the ability to register to vote in federal elections. This is just stunning footage. This is all the proof we need, folks. Showing why the Save America Act, for instance, is so critical, why 83% of the country support national voter ID, citizenship requirements for voter registration. We have the footage. We're going to show it to you. Let's start with this, though. What just happened at the White House this morning? Watch.
Citizens should decide American election. Vote for the Save Act.
Thank you. Leo 2.0. We love Leo. Thank you, Leo. That was very good. Yeah, 4 more years.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, American citizens should decide American elections. It's that freaking simple. A supermajority of the country believes that support national voter ID, proof of citizenship to register vote. 71% of Democrats support that. So why then are elected Dems in D.C. gaslighting all of us, gaslighting the public, calling this Jim Crow 2.0, saying it's unnecessary, saying non-citizens don't vote or register to vote in U.S. elections? Oh, is that so? Well, we now have the proof that is a lie. Brand new undercover footage from inside the New York City Board of Elections showing just how bad a problem this really is. How quality control is non-existent, even compromised. Watch this brand new video from this week and tell me Democrats aren't doing this on purpose, trying to kill this bill. Roll the tape.
Before, you were about to accept my voter registration form, even though I told you I was a green card holder.
I'm just a green card holder. So you're not going to report me if I do this, because
No. We accept anything that comes over the counter. We have people who come in here and they have legal situations and they register, they weren't a citizen, boom, 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 so.
How often do things like that happen? Right now, I'm in front of 200 Varick Street in New York City, New York, and inside this building on the 10th floor is an office of the New York City Board of Elections. Now, I'm going to go in there and I'm going to pose as a non-citizen Canadian green card holder.
I'm a green card holder from Canada.
And I'm just going to see how far I can get in the voter registration process. So, let's see what happens.
So I talked to a gentleman before and he said he could help me with registering to vote. It's my first time. So what do I have to show you guys?
Everything you fill out, you swear in an affidavit that everything you're putting down is true, and that's it. Can I have a seat, fill it out?
Oh, got it, okay. I'm a green card holder from Canada.
Okay, yeah, you gotta be a citizen. I wouldn't fill it out.
You wouldn't fill it out?
Yeah, you gotta be a citizen to fill it out.
Notice that he doesn't tell me it would be illegal to complete the application as a non-citizen, only that he doesn't recommend it. From here, things get even more concerning.
The reason why somebody told me that they were a green card holder and that they came in and then they submitted and they were good.
We can't stop you from submitting the application, and if it goes through, but most likely, because they don't do like a full background check, but once in a while, we have people who come in here and they have legal situations and they register, they weren't a citizen, boom, 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 so.
This is a direct admission that non-citizens are in fact registering to vote, something that many claim is a conspiracy theory.
All right, here's the deal. To be honest with you, I'm really against everything that's going on right now, and I'm trying to do my part. So, do you mind if I fill this out, or is it okay with you?
It's up to you. That's I can't tell you what to do. If you want to fill it out, but everything is clearly stated, especially at this bottom, it says American citizen. So I'm just letting you know, if you fill that out and you're not, if it comes back to you, it comes back to you. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
But
we accept anything that comes over the counter.
But you're not going to report me or something like that?
No, I'm not. No, we don't report anyone. Whoever fills that application out comes to us.
But I'm just a green card holder. I don't want to get. So you're not going to report me if I do this, because
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. That's not my job to report anyone. My job is just to collect the application and put it and submit it to the department.
Under New York election law, Section 17106, Any election officer who willfully violates any provision of the election law relative to the registration of electors is guilty of a felony. It would be a criminal offense for this worker to process my voter registration after I admitted to being a non-citizen.
Can I take this with me? Is that okay?
Yeah, take one of these. Yeah, you take that or, take another.
Okay. But just to be clear, if I do this, you will be able to submit it for me, not a problem.
Yeah, we'll submit it. That's, because we can do our background check on you. We just collect it, this and that, and that's it.
Okay.
I mean, we're going off your word. I mean, if you check off, because at the top we'll ask you, you citizen or not. You just check yes or you check no. We get registrations come to the mail. Whatever comes through, we accept, and then it's submitted.
We walked out of the office and ultimately didn't submit any application, as doing so would be illegal. We later returned to try to get more information from this worker. However, when we did so, he seemed to get suspicious of us and consulted a coworker. He then changed his tune and refused to accept our application.
Yes, ladies and
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that was the New York City Board of Elections office on Varick Street in New York. The official, the state-run, state-controlled, taxpayer-fueled Board of Elections caught red-handed, allowing and instructing a non-citizen, an alleged non-citizen, how to register to vote. Knowing full well that he is illegal, that he is not a U.S. citizen, he's a green card holder, that what he was trying to do was illegal. It's almost as if they're trained to look the other way, that this happens so often. It's commonplace. And what's scary is this is the place, the organization that's responsible under New York State election law for not only voter registration, but they're also responsible to maintain voter records, update voter records, process and verify ballot signatures, operate poll site locations. They're responsible for the certification of the vote totals. Their website says their mission statement is to conduct fair and honest elections from local to federal levels. Knowing and allowing a non-citizen to register is the opposite, the 180 opposite of a fair and honest election. This undercover reporter trying to catch up with this guy when he leaves the office and trying to get more information from him, but he clams up. He clearly knows the gig is up, he has been caught. Watch what happens.
Despite this, it seems from our first interaction that this worker was willing to accept my voter registration application when I initially claimed that I was not a U.S. citizen. How many non-citizen voter registration applications has this worker or his co-workers accepted? Why did he suggest he would process my application? We asked him ourselves. Here's what he had to say.
This is the gentleman who was about to accept my voter registration form the first time we went in when I said that I was just a green card holder. Here he is now. He doesn't want to atone for what happened. You mentioned to me that you've had situations where non-citizens have registered to vote. Can you tell me more about that? Can you tell me a little more about that? It seemed like before you were about to accept my voter registration form, even though I told you I was a green card holder. How often do things like that happen? I just want to know. So you were about to accept my voter registration form the first time until upper-level management got involved. How many, if any, non-citizen voter registration forms do you guys process? How often does that happen? Because it seemed to me like you were about to accept my form. Can I get an idea of how commonplace this is? Are you concerned about the integrity of our elections? Can we get your name? Can you tell us any information? Because we're pretty concerned. Can we ask you a couple questions, man? Come on. You're just going to do us like that? This is not a good look. So this is the situation out here in New York City at these centers where voter registration applications are taken in and processed. There is no requirement to show a ID or social security or any sort of proof of identification. Nothing like that. All you have to do is sign an affidavit that states that you are an American citizen and that is it. You don't have to bring any sort of documentation to corroborate that fact. This is one of the many potential threats to our electoral system here in the United States.
Look, this is why the Save America Act needs to pass in the Senate. At the moment, we're just waiting on John Thune to invoke the talking filibuster. We've been reporting on this almost every day for weeks now, the status of this, what John Thune is going to do. And just for some clarity, all right, Thune is opposed to nuking the filibuster. I get that. We all get that. We don't want Democrats to come in when they take power and do the same thing. But this is not nuking the filibuster. Not what a standing filibuster does. The standing filibuster is the norm, the tradition in the U.S. Senate. It's how the Senate's supposed to work. If you want a filibuster, you can. All you have to do is make your case, speak, keep speaking and arguing your point, trying to convince others to switch their view on a piece of legislation. Mike Lee, Senator Mikey. E. Lee explaining today that doing this using the talking filibuster doesn't have to be permanent. Thon can choose to invoke it just for this one bill, just for the Save America Act. Watch what he said.
Okay, I need to reiterate today. People continue to suggest that we're trying to change the Senate rules, we're trying to nuke the filibuster. The talking filibuster doesn't require a single change to a single rule. It simply requires the enforcement of rules and procedures that have lain dormant and unenforced, unused for a long time. The purpose of which is to perpetuate debate. Right now, the problem is that people are using the filibuster as synonymous with saying, I'm going to vote against cloture on a bill, and thereafter relying on their cloture vote or their threat of a future cloture vote as a filibuster to indefinitely delay passage of a bill and prolong debate or otherwise. My point is this, that the benefit of the filibuster, particularly in a context like this one, the Save America Act, it is overwhelmingly popular and has the support of a majority of the House, the Senate, and the support of the President, and 85% of the American people. For a bill like that, we ought not give them the benefit of what I call the zombie filibuster, for lack of a better word, whereby somebody can just say, hey, I'm going to vote against cloture, bringing debate to a close. And so I can delay this or kill the bill while not speaking on the Senate floor, while asleep or on vacation or overseas. That needs to not apply here. These are existing rules. Let's use.
It used to be a dirty little secret that Democrats wanted to flood the country with illegals trying to dilute your vote. You'd hear whispers about that in D.C. Not anymore. It's like all out in the open now. They no longer hide it that their strategy over the Biden administration was to flood the country with as many migrants as possible who flocked to the cities, to blue sanctuary jurisdictions, helping them, that's what Elon Musk told us, to obtain more seats following the 2030 census. It helps with congressional apportionment. The more people an area has, not citizens, the more people, the more seats you get in the U.S. House of Representatives. Unfortunately for them, that strategy, that plan is now exposed. All those people, all those migrants are now being deported, and good riddance. Elon Musk buying X allowed the truth to get out there. And now it seems like they're worried their decadal-long plan is going up in smoke. The Save America Act would be the stake in the heart of that plan. That's what I think. That's why they're fighting this so hard. Even though 71% of their voters want it, 95% of Republicans want it, 79% of blacks want it, 83% of Americans want it, because the majority of this country, folks, it seems, are still sane, rational people. It's the politicians in D.C. who are nuts. All right, that wraps up this episode. Like, subscribe. We'll see you next time.